off on there. It ain't. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back live from the ranch. Sports talk for the culture. How y'all doing today?
What's happening? What's going on?
Everything going well?
Hey, we can't say it's a beautiful day for football, but it is a beautiful day.
Oh man, this
You're
is
gonna catch the elements. You're gonna catch the elements. You can't be 80 degrees all the time.
Yeah, this is clacking weather. This is when you're really about that. You know, football playing, the crispness in the air, all that good stuff. As we know, we get together here on these weekends, and definitely it's getting about crunch time in all forms of sports. Everything's going on. Everything's in flux from football, NBA, World Series, NHL, the whole 9 yards. Everything is going real well. Definitely. So I'm here with Jonathan Moore and Duke. How's it going, guys?
What's going on, man?
What's up?
Glad to be here.
Yeah, definitely. Last night it was a privilege. Another Friday night light session with Penwood Patriots and Academy Park Knights playing for the Del Valle League title. Penwood was victorious, 40-20 in the game. It was really good. I'm an Academy Park alum. Even though I work with Penwood, just want to clear the air. I'm Knight Nation all the way. But you got to give props to the victors as they pulled it out. It was a great atmosphere, a great environment. Shout out to Rap Curry and everybody involved.
St. Joe's.
Everybody involved with last night. It was a really good time. I got to Sports Talk for the Culture was there. I got to talk about different issues in high school football and all the benefits of high school athletics. So it was really good. Just a big shout out. I want to jump into, that thing, the NFL. Mm-hmm. The NFL. What we got going on here now, it's getting close to the trade deadline. But one thing that's jumped up, with the NFL, and it's been for the first time in the Super Bowl era, the NFL has fired an official during the season. Referee Hugo Cruz was fired. Definitely fired for bad calls and bad play and bad things that were going on. If you didn't get a chance to see the missed offsides in the San Diego Chargers game, where the right tackle jumped offsides for like 5 seconds and they threw the ball and it was a touchdown and no penalty was called. This is one of the things that have happened, and egregious, calls that were made. But we've seen bad calls made before in the NFL.
Yeah, right.
We
see them every Sunday.
We see them every Sunday. We've seen calls that have cost games, cost jobs, cost relationships to break up. The whole night. you broke, now you fired. And we've seen all that. But this is the first time in the Super Bowl era that they've actually terminated an official during the season. And I have my thoughts about it, and I'm going to get your guys' take on it. There's a lot of pressure now that gambling is
That's the
legal.
number one right there.
Gambling is legal throughout the country. More books and more spots legal. That $1 billion underground economy now is a $1 billion overtop economy now. It's no longer underground. It's out in the open. I think there's more pressure to have the validity of your league intact. There's more pressure that there's no suspicion. Like, what's going on here? Like, what's happening here? All of a sudden, leagues are really want to hone down, and this is a first for the NFL. Like the first time in the Super Bowl era, going back to 1967, 68, when the first Super Bowls, that they have terminated a official for bad officiating. And what's your guys' take on that?
Well, for me, this is a subject that probably, I'm not going to talk about for a long time just because it's short and sweet, right?
Right.
If I'm going to give you an example. If I am a gambler and I needed somebody to win, and I have 10,000, 20,000, some people 100,000, right, on these games, and that's just not me. That's across the country, across the world, right? The gamblers.
Yep.
And a ref decides that he makes a bad call, then I'm out of 100,000. I'm out of 10,000. I'm out of 20,000. Whatever number it is, I'm out of it. So you can't do that. Like, you can't do it. So for me, it's just short, it's sweet, and it's simple. You are messing the money up. And I think that the NFL recognizes that. Like, listen, we don't need anybody in here making these mistakes right here because it's way too much money involved. And they opened up the gambling doors,
Yeah,
for
definitely.
everybody. So, everybody's gonna be affected by that.
Did any of our viewers comment on anything about it?
We got David Hanna. What's up? How's it going, Big Dave? Millersville. We got Mark Bennett, Snoop in the building. What's up, fellas?
What's happening?
Big Bad Radio, Build and Destroy, up in the house. We got Dondi Higgs.
What's up, Dondi? Dondi's a faithful, man.
Yeah, Dondi's a faithful.
See Jalan on there too.
Hey, what's up, Jalan? Yeah, Dondi feels he should have been fired.
Yeah,
And that's blatant. I mean, true, he should have been fired. I mean, those things, but it's the first time that somebody has been fired.
Right.
That's what makes it so interesting now is that, man, we had bad calls. Ed Hockey League, his calls, his famous. You flip the coin, I call heads, you call tails.
Right,
You remember
right,
that
right.
Thanksgiving Steelers, Bettis.
Can't forget it.
Yeah,
Can't
Bettis
forget
with Detroit Lions, Pittsburgh. We had so many controversial calls going back in the day, and that were blatantly like incorrect. That's one of the things you have instant replay for. But nobody was ever terminated.
Right.
And then but that's the thing. That's why it's so easy and it's so to say what it was because what has changed since then and now, and that's the only thing is the legal betting. When you go back, normally instead of firing a ref or firing someone, normally they would just change the rule the next year.
Yeah, definitely.
Instead of saying it was our fault, we're gonna change the rule.
Right.
Tuck rule. We're gonna change it up now.
Right.
We're gonna switch it around. Okay, now you can take the steps if he make a football move. Like they changed it around a little bit. Okay, So, but normally that's what would happen. Like they wouldn't fire someone, but for them to fire someone, what is it? 5 weeks in or whatever.
Yeah.
That was tough.
It's very, very.
And where does he go from here? I mean, if you got fired from the NFL,
Oh,
you
man.
can't really officiate anymore.
Right.
Like even though these guys are part timers, I believe it's still a big chunk of their salary that you could depend on going forward. And he was terminated by the NFL, so it'll be
Shout out to Uncle Sylvester.
Shout out Uncle Sylvester.
Uncle Sylvester.
Hey Vet. Uncle Vet in the building. How
Nana
you doing?
also. What's up, Nana? Cousin Nana, what's happening?
Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Sports Talk Live for the culture. And it's interesting to see and how many things now that I guess the officials have been put on notice. Do you think this is going to make some officials gun shy or to make that call or
Make it right. You gotta make it right now.
No, they might try to make it so right they make it wrong. They've been doing that. They've been doing that.
I see them easing up on the tackling on the quarterback a little bit. I think they got some heat on that because that was killing the game. The first 2-3 weeks. That was killing the game.
Definitely.
Whereas though I'm falling, like you want me to fall and put a pillow under the quarterback head. You know what I mean? Like how can I do that?
Yeah.
That was killing the game. It could have been interceptions, getting called back. Everything. And you giving me 15. You gonna take my interception away and give them 15 yards in the first down.
Right.
On third down.
I mean, that's game changers.
Yeah,
that's game
that's
changers.
A huge game changer.
I mean, that's
you
life
gave
changers.
Him 15, gave him a 15 the first down and took my interception away.
Hey, you getting in the way of the money is never good.
I mean, that's what it's all about. Basically, it's definitely about the money aspect of the whole situation. And I think that really now everybody's trying to make sure their league is valid, like their league is beyond reproach. So when people see calls like that, when an offensive tackle is 4 seconds, starts a good 3, so I wouldn't jack it, but he started a good 3 seconds before his play started, and they throw a touchdown pass, and the defense is like looking around like, y'all didn't see that?
Right. Like, what were you watching? I'm in the same game you are.
Even with the play that came with the moving the ball against the Dallas game with the Redskins, that rules in the books, but you never really see it. The guy's been doing it the same way. It's just a lot of things that people are looking at, and it makes it interesting because that game was 2017. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The over/under is 41.
See,
so if that
there
game
we
gets
go.
tied
Messing
up
with
at
the
40,
money again.
If that game gets tied up in 40 and goes to overtime, it's over. It's going to go over. Now, one thing people were tuning in and definitely making money on is KC over, Dallas games under. They've been riding that for the first weeks. Definitely making that play because KC going to score a lot of points, give up a lot of points. Dallas has got a good defense, but they really can't score, so most likely their game's going to be under. And that was like really, really rare. We got some, Jonathan? Who's that? Mark? What's Mark got to say? My boy Mark. Yeah, snap infraction. Yeah, definitely. Over under, definitely. That's the first thing that keyed me because my friend Fred, shout out to Fred Farrell, he was saying that week, like I said, look, take Dallas and under because they're always under. Like
right.
The games, scoring on points, they got a good defense, and then that happened. I'm looking at the score. It was 20-17. If it makes it goes, it's over. And under's been the play all week. Yeah, everybody been riding that Dallas under for the start of the season. Like so, interesting. To find out little things like that. See a conspiracy, but definitely that's something to look out for. And I think you're going to see it in all leagues now. I think it's going to be a crackdown on officiating. If anything looks, when you make a bad call, it's like, okay, are you making a bad call? Or is there something behind this bad call?
Right.
When you're doing something, and it's not. It may just be an egregious call. We all make mistakes.
Right.
We're all human. But now you got the other factor in it.
They're going to look a little bit tighter on things, and they should. You know?
Definitely. Now you got the other betting and gambling line behind that. Now you really going to look into why that call was made and when it was made. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Going forward with the NBA, baseball, and other sports, how this affects officiating. Other thing in the NFL, the trading deadline. Trades been made. Who do we think will be moved? Patrick Peterson, a lot of talk about the Patriots trying to get him. A lot of talk about Demaryius Thomas moving out of Denver, Shady McCoy out of Buffalo. Usually you don't get a lot of movement in the NFL with trades, but there has been some. It looks like, the Giants are having a fire sale. The Raiders are making a move. Bell may get moved by the Steelers. Duke, you're Steeler Nation. What's the word on Bell? What's he doing?
It's supposedly no communication, It's either first he was going to show up, the bye week. And this was it. And it's time for Cleveland. So we're in what was this week 7?
Yeah.
So this was the week he was supposed to be coming back. I don't know. I don't even think they know, and I don't think that they really care. I mean, if he wants to come back, they're not going to tell him no because they still have to. You can't tell the best player in the NFL, the best back in the NFL, no. But it's up to him. Yeah. I think if he comes in, comes ready because they say he is working out down in Miami and keeping himself together.
He's in cardiovascular shape, but football shape is different.
Football shape is very different. We've seen that last year, I think, when he came a little bit late after training camp. But I don't think anybody knows. Right now, he probably. My guess is on Sunday he's not on the couch. He's probably treating it like it's a real game from 1 to 4. Who knows? But we'll see. We don't know. I don't like the mid-season thing. I don't like people to come in mid-season.
Well, he has to come back by week 10.
Yeah, so he can get that year of service in.
Right.
So
he has to come back by week 10. He can't.
And you're not getting a check right now. Last I checked. So
he might put his money up too.
If somebody gives me $40 million in 3 years, I would like to think that
something somewhere. He's not starving. He ain't down the line.
You have to think he's okay because
he would
you
be
decide. Yeah, you would be playing. You can if somebody wants to pay you $14 million and you don't have any money, you coming out, you're going to play. So I think that he might have that all put up. And even if he wants to come back and they got to pay him $7 million through 8 games, I mean that's still beautiful. So I think that he is going to come back because it's a showcase. Like he's a free agent next year, so come back, make the $7 million, and you wide open again.
I don't think y'all playing. I wouldn't play him.
Well, they'll mix it up with him because you need 2 backs.
Yeah, y'all know he's going next year. It's almost like.
Well, we don't. He said he wants to stay.
Juju Schuster played the lottery so we can get him back in.
He said, I love him. He said, I love Pittsburgh. The numbers just ain't right.
Well, I heard some things. You talk about $20 million guaranteed, and you look at the Steelers like, huh? What do you mean? Like, that's not a good number for him. But they probably taken in consideration because that's how they are.
Right.
They don't pay. They have the history of not paying. So if to them
especially
on
the
the
running back
business side.
position,
Yeah, on a business side of things, they're probably looking at it like we just gave this guy $40 million in 3 years. If we guarantee him 50, then we didn't gave him $90 million over a four-year period. So that's how they probably looking at it.
And I think it goes back to the discussion that we had before when we talk about the NFL and the salary structure, how it's always been structured around quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks, no matter what they are worth, are the highest paid players in the league, whether you're very good or not good at all. You know, you're going to be a so-so quarterback and make more than a great running back. You're
Right.
going to be a so-so quarterback, make more good than a good defensive end or defensive side. And that's not what these players have in mind anymore.
Nah,
their whole mentality, I'm the best player on this team. I need to be paid the best.
And what's the problem with that? You know, they see everybody's going on the old, the regime. You know, okay, I'm the quarterback. The quarterback gets the most money. So listen, some of them are waking up. Aaron Donald got $22 million a year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
and he deserves it.
Yeah,
and he's
the
worth every dime.
Arguably the best defensive player in the whole NFL.
So pay him.
You know, and you're not paying golf right now, so let's go all in and go and try to get this chip. And that's what the
so I get
Rams
it.
have done.
Yeah, I get it. I get it with Bell. I get it. Like if everybody knows that I am the best, so pay me like the best. Don't pay me close to I'm guarantee me something. Now I don't want to break the bank, but it's what it is. You had an opportunity to do this. You gave me $40 million in 3 years. You did that.
Yeah, definitely.
So you what's the problem? Like,
I want to shout out my man Jim Locker, big Ohio State, big Buffalo Bills fan.
Jim,
hey Jim, how's it going,
what's
man?
up, Jim?
Big, and he's Ohio State because he's from Ohio, and West Virginia. And he's a West Virginia. He played at West Virginia too.
WVU,
West Virginia down there. When John Chaney was coaching the Temple Owls, he used to play down there. Yeah, great John Chaney stories. Thanks for checking us out, Jim. Definitely. What do you think about Shady McCoy leaving the Bills? Always seem to be a little shady with Shady. You know what I mean? Always something going on down there. Definitely. But yeah, that's interesting. So the other thing I want to get into around this time is always the big discussion. You're trading for these proven NFL, players that have done something legit in the league, and you look at Dallas, who gave up a first-round pick, clearly overpaid, but when you mess up and have no receivers, you have to overpay. Like if you mess up your credit, you'll be paying $30,000 for a Kia with interest. It just that's what happens. But definitely looking at taking a first round pick next year at wide receiver. They look at the 2019 draft. Really no impact wide receivers there. It's going to be a defensive rush draft, not a quarterback draft, and definitely not a wide receiver draft. So these teams are giving up maybe a fourth or a fifth or a third or a second or even a first to get a proven commodity. What's your guys' take on that? Do you take the guy like Amari Cooper has proven 2 1,000-yard seasons in the NFL and 2 Pro Bowls who've kind of slipped back a little bit? Or do you hold on to that pick because of what might happen, in the draft? What's your take on that? Trading versus future draft picks?
Man, my take on it always with the trade and the future draft picks is where you at.
Yeah.
Like, all right, if we get this guy, we're gonna pay some money for him. Is that gonna really give us? Can he make 4 games? Can he will us 4 games? Can he will us 2 games?
Yeah. It's the difference between not making the playoffs or making the playoffs.
Right.
10-6 and 8-8.
Right. If we're still not gonna probably be in the playoffs, I take my chances with the kid. Also, but that's my take on that. It depends on, can we get to the playoffs with this guy, or can we get to the playoffs with these 2 guys and we pick them both up? If not, then you're almost wasting 20.
For me, it's based on need.
Right.
I think in Dallas's case, they need more than him.
Yeah, they definitely. That's definitely not one player away, but you had nothing.
Right.
I think it was a part of you trying to gauge or try to have what you can see in Dak Prescott, and if you're going to keep Jason Garrett.
But my fault, son. But a lot of things with Dallas is different. Dallas is, for one, the town Dallas. Dallas is one of the teams that the actual Cowboys fans want them to do something, but Dallas almost don't have to do much. It's just something about the Cowboys who they are.
Right.
And then by them getting the tight end, right?
Amari Cooper, wide receiver.
Mark, he's a receiver. He's big.
Yeah. Easily, he's 6'1", 210.
I said, that's a tight end right there. You know
and other thing is, Amari Cooper is he ran his things are off the charts.
Yeah.
He's only 6 months older than the rookie.
24, right?
Yeah. And,
so young.
And Calvin Ridley is 24. Like he's 6 months older than Calvin Ridley. He came out early.
Yeah, he came out real early.
Yeah.
So I'm watching. I'm like, yo, that's a tight end. But y'all are still a game out. Like y'all division is still open.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
he could make a difference.
Right.
You know?
So
it makes sense to go get the Amari Cooper instead of waiting till
6 months later at a draft pick that you don't know.
Right. It makes sense because we still are in it right now. You know,
yeah.
we're not out of it. You know,
and then you Dak's in the conversation too. You talking about this is your future quarterback. Well, can you give him a fair assessment?
Right.
Because he don't have anything.
Right.
So now he can show you, okay, I got a legitimate guy over here, and you can see them build chemistry. Now it's like, okay, now he's worth giving this $150 million to. But how can you give him a fair evaluation when
and that's
he doesn't have anything?
It's about being able to evaluate. Okay, we didn't give you much of a receiver. The offensive line is the real elephant in the room, and the real story no one was talking about. It was a team built through the offensive line and through retirement, injury, and free agency. The offensive line is playing subpar, and your whole team was built to run through the offensive line and run and play action. And when you can't do that, and especially on the road, you suffer.
Right.
And the coaching staff hasn't been able to come up with a plan B that involves Zeke without just handing it to him off in the backfield and other things. But you really didn't have the players there also, so you really couldn't interfere. You had to make an adjustment and assessment and go out and get somebody.
Hey,
and that's definitely what
Dallas should have did in the beginning was because it's no secret that the Raiders are trying to get rid of people. They should have jumped on that at the beginning of the season. When they was trying to get rid of Mac, it might have been cheaper.
Yeah.
Now you're looking desperate.
Yeah, definitely. They knew your hand because the Eagles said, we got a second. They whispered, them Eagles they want a second for Amari. What you gonna do, Dallas?
Right.
you gotta come up. You gotta come up with the one. And Duke, you had mentioned the Raiders, and that's one thing I want to get to. It's clearly that the Raiders have decided to blow it up.
Right.
Yeah, they moved Mack for 2 picks. They moved Cooper for a pick. Interesting enough, John Gruden, when he was an analyst, said the Raiders should go out and grab Cooper. He was off the charts. Now there's talk that Derek Carr, there's some fracture there with him and the team. They're going to move on from Derek Carr. What do you think about John Gruden? He's blowing this thing up. And I haven't known John Gruden, if you look at his track record, after the Super Bowl, he won more than 9 games, maybe twice. But John Gruden, in my eyes, never developed a young quarterback. He's never been a young quarterback developer as like an Andy Reid. Andy Reid is a tremendous developer of young talent and being able to this. What's your take so far in Oakland? What's going on with Gruden? He came in. We questioned, can he relate to this era's players? That was something that we talked about in our preseason show. Right. Can Gruden relate to this new era players, this new situation where guys are going to be like, oh, pay me or I'm going to go. So what do you evaluate what's going on in Oakland?
Well, here's the thing for me, right? The whole world, right, including us, including all the NFL owners and the NFL teams, knew that it was one player that deserved to get paid, and they know he was a beast, and they started putting him into this realm of the Ray Lewises and the Lawrence Taylors and all this stuff. And this guy happened to be Khalil Mack. Why wasn't he signed? It's not like you don't have the money. Some people are strapped, for cash and locked in. That wasn't the case here.
Right.
So instead of
defensive MVP,
you're talking defensive MVP. You talking about listen, the worst team on defense. If you add him, they won't be the worst team anymore on defense. Now they might not be number one, but they won't be the worst team anymore. That's how much of an impact he has. So you let him go. Like right? We go into the office. We say, listen, this is what we need to do. What you want. You don't let somebody else say, oh, they don't want you. Oh, here, take it. Yeah. Like so that you can't let these guys get away now. He wasn't one of your, he's all right. He plays sometime. He's not. No, he's worth every dime, just like the Rams locked up Donald.
Yeah.
He's worth every penny. So you let him go, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think the players are saying, right?
Yeah,
After
I think
you
the
do
whole
something
locker,
like that.
the whole
Yeah.
locker room is kind of like, look, we're trying to win out here.
Yeah.
And he's the best player in this organization by far.
Right.
Pro Bowl
You got the money.
linebacker and
You got the
defensive
money.
end.
You know, you have the money to get him, and all of a sudden, that you say to yourself, well, this one guy, we gotta okay. So now the quarterback's looking at you. You know, the star receiver's looking at you like, what's this guy trying to do? And guess what? I might be next.
Yeah. Shout out to my man Scott. He says that John Gruden won't be there in 3 years.
Scott Falar, what's up, brother?
And he says Carr should restructure. He may restructure. He may have to take a
I mean,
restructure.
quarterbacks can. They always do. They always restructure. My thing is, before that even happened, you showed this man out a little bit.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
now who's next? Next we see who's next. Cooper's next. Then Carr might be. We
So
don't.
do you want to restructure if you Carr? You want to take the payout, like
Well, do you want to win?
Am I going to restructure for you to get rid of me? You know.
Yeah.
But the thing about on what him saying about on the Scott, John Gruden seems like he's doing like a similar thing to Chip Kelly. If you don't want to play the way I want you to play, I don't want you.
Right.
You know.
And you got to know, and he's been around professional football long enough, and we've been professionals. There's a lot of people you may not care for personally, but you got to work with them to get the job.
Oh yeah,
done.
but that's the that's the old way, like
Yeah.
this is going to be my way or is not going.
Highway.
That's not. It's only one coach left like that,
Yeah.
right? And
check.
he's successful with it,
'Cause
but
he got the-
you
he got
can't
the
come
chips.
in. Yeah,
he got the
He
cash
already-
check.
right,
Chip-
exactly.
He already has the personnel.
Right.
Like these people, these Chip Kelly and Gruden, they're coming into the situation and,
Right.
and trying to
Exactly.
make it what it is.
Right.
Well, you got 17 people that's not with it. Whereas though
Right.
Chip Kelly has, whereas though
Bill Belichick.
Belichick has 2 people that's not with it. Well, they can go.
Yeah.
That's a
Right,
big
right.
difference. You know, the rest of the team has been here. The rest of the team know what it is.
And
know?
you trust, and Bill Belichick speaks for himself. His coaching
Right.
ability, whatever.
You got a nice, healthy
film and
resume.
stuff. I mean, the resume is fat, so you got to take. And great players, the greatest players, want to be pushed and coached. And you understand we got a system, so you come in here. We know what the Patriot way is, and you're not going to come in there and,
No.
as they say, act a fool.
Hey,
You're
listen,
gonna come in there
these
and fall
players
in line.
now, you say what you want about them. If you don't get along with them, you might be out. Case in point, Chip Kelly.
My boy Reggie, shout out to Reggie Duncan, longtime friend, coach. He says they're trying to rebuild for their move to Vegas. Look, they want to bring all new chips, have a fresh start. Could be too.
Could be.
mean,
Could
it's
be.
nothing like, but it's
I
good
know
to
you
go
need
to
a
Vegas.
face. You need a face in
Yeah,
Vegas.
it's not like going to Vegas winning.
Right,
That's always
right.
good too. Like definitely.
Right. You bringing a new team, and we won 12 games.
Yeah.
Instead of you bringing a new team that won 3 games.
Right.
You know.
So in a couple years, I guess they're going to make a move and try to reestablish themselves. The other team that's having a fire sale is those New York Giants. Now, Duke, this was your. No, we all.
You don't have to repeat that. We're not into repeating things right now.
Duke, this was your preseason pick, your sleeper pick.
Can I say why before you try to bury
Go
me?
ahead. Now, I'm not trying to bury you, but this was your. And I just went because what kind of. I mean, I said that, they could be dangerous too. I sipped the Kool-Aid. But what do you think went wrong with the New York Football Giants, and they just letting everybody know players are here for sale before the 31st,
Hey,
before
man,
Halloween.
listen.
It's trick or treat at the New York Giants facility.
Pick what you want.
Pick
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
want. We got some Snickers bars. We got some candy corn. We got a whole different variety of stuff. We trick or treating early. Come
I'm
here.
gonna give you 2 things, and y'all guys can take it away because I put them in. I said watch them. That's what I said preseason. Eli is done.
Yeah, he's done.
Right? It's over.
Yeah.
So we can start there. Now, on the flip side of things, we want to talk bright spots. Saquon Barkley is a beast, right? But in order for them to do anything, Eli has to go. He has to go. Now, what we did was, he has 2 Super Bowls. We did this. But
And the funny part,
I never saw. And when was that Super Bowl?
yeah.
It was,
But the
But
funny,
it was 8 and 8, I believe.
But here's the part about the Patriots where Belichick would have moved on.
Belichick
would have he would have.
He tried to move on with Brady, so you know.
He trying to send Gronk to Detroit. He trying to send Brady like, yo, if you're not gonna move, I'm gonna make you move off the spot.
I'm gonna make you move
because you're gonna be throwing to nobody.
I've been saying this for the last 3 years. if his last name, if Eli last name if it wasn't what it is,
It was O'Reilly, Patrick.
he would have been gone.
Yeah. He got 2 dubs, though.
He got 2 dubs, but
I
he
can't
just
remember.
got hot. He won like the last 5 games. He was doing bad the first half of the season. He won like the last 5 games and went in. He was out. They wasn't even supposed to be in the playoffs. They snuck in. And they was on, once you let us in, we in. Yeah. You know, and they went on and ran the table.
The sad thing about him is I can find out of the 32 teams, it's probably 25 quarterbacks that's better than him.
Yeah, it might be more because there might be some backups.
That's
it might be, you ain't even counting the backups.
Damn.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It might be 40 quarterbacks better than Eli.
That's bad.
Because you're not counting the backups.
Bad, man.
Yeah, but if you look at the organization, and if you look at what's going on with Odell Beckham Jr., who they gave $90 million to, and his antics, him and Odell's father and the general manager owner had words in the press, whatever he has to go. It's all about the culture there. Can Pat Shurmur, the coach, handle that?
Well,
because there's been a lot of debate on Odell Beckham calling out Eli Manning, and we talked about that before.
Hey, we called him out.
Yeah, we called him out because, but I'm not his teammate. And
right.
There's things that's different when you're playing well. I'll take you to a perfect example. When the Eagles' backup quarterback was struggling, he was very struggling once Wentz went out, and Foles was struggling. There wasn't Eagles receivers throwing him under the bus on the sideline with antics. Doug Peterson said, look, we got to get it together. I got to find out what you do well, and we're going to do that from like 9 different formations.
Right.
Came together as a team. As far as somebody else, walling out on the sideline, this guy ain't it, he's the problem, start Sudfeld or whatever, all right, you can have that on your team, but I say that doesn't win. That's not conducive to winning in a football environment. So what do you think about Odell? Because Odell's the leader. He's the voice. He's the paid guy on the team now. They're moving on from all these players. I'm assuming he will be there.
Odell's not going anywhere.
Saquon is going to be the face of the team, but Odell and Saquon are going to be there definitely moving forward. But I think that the Giants, it's one of these things where they put a lot of money in the free agency on the defensive side and really couldn't fix their offensive line. So you really still have to draft well. No matter what you do in free agency, you still have to draft.
But I thought that the Giants had enough pieces to win 10 games. Because if you look at, they had some veterans over there, right?
Yeah.
D-line.
There's something else there going on there.
It's
Saquon
is divided.
Saquon is doing his thing.
Yeah, they
He's
got a
doing what
divided
he's supposed
team.
to do.
Absolutely.
He giving them the push to win these games.
Right.
It's just the rest of the team is not doing.
But you got Collins and Olivier Vernon. You got some veteran proven guys that could play ball over there. Yeah. I think the more the focus is on that offense more than anything. The offense, Eli.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, Scott was saying that Eli was a game manager. He was saying he's trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. With those weapons, like you have arguably one of the best receivers, arguably the best receiver in the game,
one of the best backs.
One of the best backs in the game, arguably the best receiver.
It doesn't matter if you're on your back.
And the best receiver.
Yeah.
And he has what, 1 touchdown, if that?
Right.
How?
But that's interesting because Julio Jones has one.
Right.
Like maybe not scored yet.
So what is that? What is that? What's going on?
Well, Julio doesn't want to be there either, though. So Julio.
It's all about your ability to, and it's funny, and it's all about your ability to scheme and get guys open. I always said when you're playing in the pros, this is not. I always use the term. Alabama playing Sweet Nectar State, where you're just. Your third team is better than their first team.
Right.
You're going to have to, scheme to get people over. Minnesota, Scott Phelan is on pace for 152 receptions this year. To break.
I like him. He's a great receiver too, man.
To break the kid out of, he played with Manning from Philadelphia that played with the Colts to break his record at 143. But I think defenses are trying to take him away every week, but they still find a way to get him the ball.
Hey, man, listen, it's let's be real. It's not just the player that needs to have these numbers, right? The player needs the coaches. Yeah. They have to get these guys in position and move them around for them to be successful. That's why the coaches get paid the money they do, from the defensive coordinators to the offensive coordinators to the players. You gotta put these packages in to make these players successful. This is the reason why Antonio Brown gets catches every week, regardless of what's happening.
Puts up numbers.
Yeah, so to me, a guy like Julio and Odell Beckham, when you see these guys only with 1 touchdown in 7 weeks, I don't even look at the player now. I'm looking at this quarterback, and I'm looking at this offensive coordinator. They the 2 people that I'm looking at, because I'm gonna look at the player first to check out his body language to see.
And you're playing in the offensive era. It's not like you're not playing in the defensive era where
we can get some touchdowns out there. Yeah.
But you can run freely down the seam of the defense. Right, you can run right down the middle of the hash mark and not worry about losing your life.
And you're throwing 3, sometimes 4 down.
Yeah. So,
and you're a receiver that can run and do double and triple moves. You know.
Yeah.
You got footwork and speed, and you can't score.
Yeah,
in this era.
Yeah, so
this is the offensive era. There's no excuse for not putting up points in this era. There's just none. Like there's no reason like you can't do work in the offensive era.
Scott seems to believe, well, he do that Julio misses Shanahan, and guess what? These receivers and coordinators, they do establish relationships. You know.
Yeah.
So
it may
I believe it.
Take a time or for them to try to work, but this is the second year. This is not some guy that's been there for 6 weeks in the real action. They had all last year and this year. So I mean, there's going to be. I mean, but they're doing work. The other team is scoring, so you can't really say that the Atlanta Falcons' problem has been squarely on defense. They've been kind of decimated by injuries.
Right. But you know what? You know what I can say about Atlanta? This is what we can say now, and this is what I don't like about. I want to say Matt Ryan. All right, let's go back, and I think I said this earlier in our show. Well, first, shout out to my cousin Lisa Farmer. What's up, Lisa?
Hey,
it's definitely team effort, Lisa.
Team effort always, any sport.
And the Giants' team effort is all time low.
Not there. Right. So now let's go back to last year playoffs. If Julio catches, if Matt Ryan throws that ball playoffs against the Eagles inside instead of outside, we got a whole different tune. Yeah, we got a whole different tune.
Got a whole different day going to training camp and everything.
Everything changes.
We going to training camp.
Everything changes. Because, I mean, if you looked at it super slow-mo, how they do, nobody's out jumping him. He just had to think about getting his feet together and catching the ball at the same time. Now, if that ball's in, the only thing I worry about is catching the football, and which he does best when he jumps. Then fast forward to the first game of the season against the Eagles, the same thing happened. The same exact thing happened. He threw the ball up like we've been doing in the playground for years, and he had to worry about his feet again. And I'm sitting there like, no.
There was another questionable call down there, too.
Right. To a leaper, you don't want them thinking about trying to be out of bounds. Right. You want to put that in where they can just catch it and it's over. So it happened twice. You do that, who knows what happened, you know?
Definitely. And you look and you see how Julio's taking it. I haven't seen too much outbursts or whatever. Just a constant professional. But one person that I think that's kind of like under the radar, shouldn't be under the radar, is Andre Hopkins. And he's just a beast.
Oh, man.
I mean, you see that catch Thursday night that didn't count. It's the greatest catch never to count in the NFL. One hand between your legs.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the stuff you can do now as a receiver, because you're not worrying about now, if you would try to do that around Tatum in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh,
Ronnie
yeah,
Lott,
yeah.
Go up with one hand, put the ball between
no
your
catch.
legs.
It's no catch.
Yeah,
either it's in or out, nothing, Helmet comes off, something.
Yeah, so, but now you, like, these guys make these spectacular catches, and it's another example of before now with the quarterback for the Houston Texans. He really hasn't had any quarterbacks. He's had, not a great guy throwing the ball, but he's been a team guy, quiet guy. Just come in, do work. Andre Johnson was the same way when he was there.
Yes.
Just come in, put in work, not trying to cause all the rah-rah. Look, let's just try to win as a team. And I think that's how you're successful moving forward. We still agree LA is the best team right now. The Rams.
Yeah, which is, the Rams jumped off.
Shout out to Rap Curry on the
What's
win,
up, Rap?
win last night.
Congratulations, Rap.
Congrats,
on the
man.
win.
Good win.
Got me explaining myself out here that I'm still with Night Nation. I'm gonna have to do a whole PSA to explain myself to the community out here. But it's all good.
He
It's all
feels
love.
though the Giants are tanking. You know, it looks like it. I hope they are.
Yeah.
So to ease it for us, right?
So you telling me that Eli still got some juice left? I mean, if they ain't tanking, it's bad. You know,
They let Eli go. I mean, because if you look at his brother was carried to that Super Bowl by that Denver defense.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it was time.
Because then when they let his big brother throw, he threw like 4 picks in the game. You know,
Yeah, it was
Right,
like
right.
We gonna,
he was really benched, and then they, who was it? Osweiler was starting before him, and Osweiler was like, I could have got a chip with this defense. So he didn't come back. He was like, look, I could have got a chip with this defense that put me in a different tax bracket. You know what I mean? Like you just got to pay me on, I got that chip. That gives you the TV announcing. We got Osweiler here. He's a Super Bowl quarterback. He's here in studio announcers. He got the
hold it. Yeah.
That's a whole different post life after football, your credentials that you have, to move forward. But definitely, I mean, when it's time, it's time.
Right.
And like, and when you're looking at it, like, oh man, it's time. You got and the only reason they're really hanging around is because they're really trying to protect these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So you can try to hang around.
Yeah.
You're not hanging around back in the day.
Look, we can put that on the NFL. If they was out to hit him, Eli would have been done 3 years ago.
Yeah, Eli like, look.
So you're holding on now.
Yeah, let me take this money. I got 2 chips. They won't put me in the hall because I'm a Manning, and I got 2 chips, so I'm gonna go. Don't look at all them interceptions. Just let me get get in like Eli was like done 4 years ago. Yeah, that is true. But we're gonna move on and just try to save it. But it'd be interesting to say. We're getting in a couple more weeks. We'll hit getting near Thanksgiving, and playoff picture, the pretenders and the contenders, a step up, and we'll see what's going on in the NFL. Let's jump to the NBA. NBA that started. Interesting. Lakers, everybody's grooving. Golden State, is playing well. Kevin Durant's unguardable. We can see who put the work in the offseason. They're jumping out. What did you guys take of the Chris Paul Rondo situation?
Well, you gotta bring that up, man.
Yeah. He spit on me, didn't spit on me. But if he spit on me, I'm getting 35 games. So I mean, it's just crazy with these two. And is it Chris Paul? Like everybody says, people always have issues with CP3. People say he's not the best teammate, or it's just something with him. What's up with Chris Paul?
Well, thinking about Chris Paul and Rondo, they didn't like each other for a very long time.
Right.
This didn't happen yesterday.
Yeah.
Chris Paul and Rondo hated each other, and that was the thing that I didn't understand. Why did LeBron take so much liking into Chris Paul, Rondo? Because Chris Paul and Rondo are Chris Paul and LeBron are very close.
Yeah.
And so almost like if you don't like him, I don't like him. I was thinking, but I guess not. But Rondo and Chris Paul had a run-in before, and Rondo said to Chris Paul when Rondo was on the Celtics, he said, "I got a ring. You'll never get a ring." I mean, I understand that, but don't compare the talent. Like, come on. Like, I don't think you compare Chris Paul to Rondo.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of bitter beef for a very long time.
Right.
It didn't just happen yesterday.
Right.
Just wanted to get that out there to let people know.
So it was definitely this was beneath the first surface.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
It was there. It was
like
always
the first day
it was always ready to happen.
Yeah. I just give me a reason.
Yeah, that's it.
Both of them was like, I wish he would. Like, when they see each other, I wish he would say something.
But man, let me tell you something. And you got we can listen. What happened, right? In terms of you can not like somebody, you can argue with somebody, y'all can get face to face and all that stuff. Once you decide to have some saliva,
was that intentional or unintentional? You think?
Man, I thought about that for a long time.
I've seen it super slow mode and all that kind of stuff, but you talking. There's certain words that draw saliva. They begin with P. Right. Punk, other things.
Right. I mean, people have opened their mouth before and something you done sprayed somebody.
Certain words that you say with emphasis, some saliva will come out. Like you say it, don't spray it. Like when we have a conversation, I've been known to do that.
Because you can tell that it was so much beef going between them. Because the play had nothing to do with them two.
Yeah.
Right.
But once you seen
it
them
was time. It was
But
time.
when you seen them get close, you seen Chris Paul fold his arms and look at him. Before, Rondo spit on him and everything. He folded his arms and just looked at him dead in his face.
It's me. It's me. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they was too close.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's one thing when the game is going on for me to guard you, but when heated situations is going on and I'm guarding, and we just looking at each other, you know. That's like watching a fight, you know.
Then a couple times before
that,
that,
don't like each other.
Yeah, a couple times before that, they had I don't know, ran into each other.
Yeah.
You know?
So,
What'd you say?
Rap told you get your shout out.
Oh, all love in the Del Val for real. Yeah, it's all love. You
One
know,
up.
you know, it's a rivalry with respect. It was respect. Like I said, it goes back. You know, we had a great
Yeah,
conversation.
he said let the fans know about Penwood signing.
The Penwood signing.
Yeah.
All right, definitely. We'll definitely let them know about the Penwood, and we'll be back there. I think we're going to do Friday night lights again for their playoff game. The Be the Brand campaign, definitely hit that up. It's
Okay.
positive. And the thing about when you got two people that don't like each other, and they're just looking for a reason.
Oh,
Let's get the party started.
but my
Like I
thing
said,
is this.
gotta be professional.
You know, you could have mixed it up, but it didn't have to be with spit.
Yeah.
So once that happened,
Yeah.
I don't even understand why Chris Paul pointed his finger in his face. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because when the spit come, the cock back comes with the spit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like I don't know why. Yeah, it's like nah, that's it. Like,
Yeah, that's the ultimate line.
That's like, and I've always said that, and there's been some spitting incidents. I think something went on at Jay-Z in the elevator, whatever. I've always said this: if you spit on somebody, you must be ready to defend your life.
Oh yeah,
Like you just got. I mean, you've taken it. Yeah. You've taken. It's more than hitting somebody. Like you've taken it to a place where
Right.
it's time to. You got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't
gave it
even
this
know
cup,
when
yeah.
somebody does that. Like who?
And I don't care what your demeanor. You have a demeanor like mine.
Right,
But
right.
somebody's what? It's not even.
That's beyond knocking your mom off the shoulder. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
That's
man.
beyond knocking your mom off the shoulder.
And then
You know what I mean?
if somebody does that to you and you are rich,
Yeah.
it's like, oh no. When whatever it was with us tussling was 5 games,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that thing up to
It's on
25.
5:30. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna take it up to 25, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell y'all see what he did. You can't do it.
You gotta handle it.
Shout out to Reese Bush. She tuned in. Tamara Bush's wife.
Oh.
Coach Bush.
Coach Bush.
What's up, Coach?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
That's the
Thanks for
wife of
joining.
Coach Bush.
Thanks for joining. Let's jump in. One of the stories this season early has been the Milwaukee Bucks. Last time I checked,
Giannis.
they were
The Greek.
5-0, and led by Giannis. New building, new arena. He's filling it out. Giannis. I'm not gonna try to do his last name.
Yeah, leave it alone.
The Greek Freak really improved. Now, right now, I'm arguing. You look at the players in the East, the top players in the East. Whoa! I mean, you look at Kyrie. You can see this, coming off an injury. We'll see how long he says.
They the best team.
I don't know.
If I had to bet,
who are you gonna put that's leading their team? The man that has to do it in and out every night on himself. I'm not too strapped with the Bucks roster, but Milwaukee and Giannis, he's up in the top 3. Right now. He's scoring. He's hitting threes now.
Yeah.
He worked out with Kobe Bryant.
hey,
He
man,
worked out.
like
He worked out with Kobe
we
Bryant.
talked about earlier. We know who was working out during the summer.
Yeah.
We know. We see what's going on.
And that's what you talk about, the improvement of your game. If you look at his stats coming in, so players, when he first got in the league and the stuff he could do, he had the measurables, he had the body, and now he has that size, that frame, that athleticism, and now he's getting a 3-point shot to go with it, and also can take it. You can take it down and do anything you want on the court. What do you guys take on the Greek Freak? And as it's in the Eastern Conference, he's setting his sights to be the LeBron replacer on the East Coast. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, Milwaukee's 5-0. I don't know what. I haven't really jumped into Milwaukee's roster as it is, but I don't remember the Bucks roster jumping out at me with all these moves that have been made over summer. You know the Celtics are loaded. And I put Milwaukee over the Sixers right now as far as their rank in the Eastern Conference. They already beat them. I mean, they beat him at home or whatever. Ben played whatever. It was on a back-to-back night, though. The Sixers played the night before, but whatever. But you just look at their best player and what their best player can do to go get points and can go score and go do anything. Like, he's just and a humble cat. You don't hear too much about him.
Yeah.
I heard this story in the playoffs after he had get the game-winning tip-in. Like, he went out to eat at this Mexican spot.
Right.
And just waited in line for a table. And he didn't get a table eventually and just like took some food to go.
Well, you know.
And they were like, well, why didn't he say something?
Right.
Or whatever. And everybody's like, y'all didn't serve Giannis? Like the Mexican, they said like, oh, nah, you can come back here and eat for free or whatever.
Right.
But he just kind of just laid back and said, okay, I'll wait my turn or whatever.
You know, he probably didn't want the preferential treatment. Sometimes I would do that. I'll wait in line.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, the thing with Giannis, I definitely think he's there. The Bucks are up there, and it's all because of Giannis. But I don't know if I would put him all the way ahead of the Sixers. The Sixers and them are probably 3 and 4. They can go
It's been
back
interesting though. Right now, the season could do, but the Sixers can't score. They have no scores off the bench.
Right.
If they're not running JJ Redick off the screens off the bench, who's getting points for him?
Right.
Well, they didn't they think it was going to be Fultz?
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Listen, when you
They got to get
David Harper too.
David Harper in the building, cousin Dave.
Dave, what's up, brother?
Dave.
They have to get into this the Jimmy conversation. Yeah, they have to get into. They got to get into that conversation. Yeah. There's something there. I heard a rumor that Houston wants to give him 4 first-round picks for him.
Who?
Houston wants to give
Butler
Jimmy Butler.
Well, they listen.
The Sixers got to get into that mix. I don't really right now. We talking
that's
about
a deep
Fultz,
mix right there.
But there's something about, and I don't like. It's only been one season, so many games. Yeah. But you can see a puppy with big paws and think they're going to grow into it. The demeanor, his demeanor right now hasn't been there. I hope he can grow into it. I mean, I just hope his demeanor.
But who's waiting for that? That's the thing.
Nobody.
There you go.
Back in the day where you got to sit the rookies for a year, 2 years. You know, they knew Kobe had talent, but they still setting for 2 years pretty much. You know, it's not like that no more. They want you to come out, go. You know, you scored 35 in college. We need at least 25 from you in the league.
Hey, you're 19, 18. They throw you in, and your checks. You're a millionaire.
Right.
You can't say I'm 18
right.
and 19. They start paying you.
Yeah.
You're a pro.
Right.
So what you gonna do? Now some of the guys in the past, you know, whether they couldn't shoot or they needed to work on their handles, that's part of it. But they still showed you something to let you know, like,
but you gotta see the mentality. You knew Kobe's mentality, man. Kobe's all-time great, so you don't want to compare it now. You don't want to go overboard. I hate when you say that, but you see some people just with a mentality like, yo, I'm about this. You wanted to be able to tell folks, would you stop shooting? Like, you want to tell folks, like, yo, wait a minute, like, you're not there yet. Like, I'd rather have it that way than trying to, like,
slow down.
Slow down. Like, hey, pump your brakes, young fella. We got other options on this team that are 1 and 2. Like,
you got a Ben Simmons, who I love. He's phenomenal. They can say what they want about his shot and all that, but
he's a pass. But
he's a passer. But it is beautiful for a gangster wing. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 guards love guys that can pass, man.
Yeah.
And
he wants to pass.
And he wants to pass. So it's a perfect setup.
He's an IQ guy.
For somebody, right? It's a perfect setup for a guy that can pass, and they need it. You know what I mean? Because we see that. Because he's always going to be a passer.
Right.
Because that's just who he is.
And I think the thing about Giannis, he can do all that, and he can just score. Yeah. Like, he's going to get that bucket. Like, and he's not in this NBA. You got to be able to shoot, and you got to be able to shoot free throws because a lot of calls go, and you got to want that contact. Right. You got to want to go down there and put in that work, and that's what you have to do.
And that's the good thing about Giannis. Giannis will bring the ball up, but then when he gets in the block, he's not a shooting guard no more.
Yeah,
Giannis brings the ball up. He plays the wing as a shooting guard, but when he gets on the block, he's a center. Yeah, he power bounces the ball and goes up like a big man. Like, that's what I liked about him a lot. You know,
they call him the freak.
Yeah,
right.
So I never heard anybody say, "Nah, don't give him that. He's a freak."
Yeah. Right.
You see his arm?
You're right.
Like, he's a freak,
and he can guard the center. You know, the thing.
I don't think there's nothing that he can't do. Like, I think he's comfortable.
Once he works, like you said, he came out. He's shooting threes now. He's working on his jumper was
that's when he worked with Kobe.
That was the worst thing. You know, shout out to Kobe for we see what's going on.
KB.
You know, we see what you did with Kawhi. You know. And now you said you want to work with he said he's about to start working with Shaq's son soon. He said So you know,
Oh, yeah.
getting Shaq's son right.
Oh, wow, I mean that's
Yeah.
definitely would be
But that's what he put in his book. He was talking about him and Shaq relationship. Then he was like, "Yeah, we great now," you know. And
so they've ironed things out.
yeah, he said it was the
I'm
media.
glad.
Yeah, he said it was more the media. He said we was just too young to tell people to shut up. You know
Yeah,
what
I mean, you
The
buy
outsider.
into it.
Like your marriage. You know, you letting outsiders in your marriage dictating your life.
Right,
That's when it's gonna go down. You
It's
know,
gonna go
so
bad.
instead of them saying we know what we need to do, he said we just was too young to tell everybody to
Right,
shut up.
which is true.
So it got blew out of proportion. He said,
Right.
but we great now, we more mature, and I can't wait to work with his son, you know.
Cool, great. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to jump in back with this World Series, talk about baseball in general. As America's pastime, past its prime.
The game you want to sleep on and woke back up and it was still on.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to jump into that. And talk a little bit about, I want to talk about Mike Leach, the coach of Washington, saying, hey, they need to make this NCAA football thing to 16 teams. Let's just move right to 16 teams and get it done. So, I mean, that's what we're going to jump into when we get back. We'll be back. Sports Talk Live for the
Ranch.
culture. Definitely. back live. Sports
Back.
Talk Radio, Sports Talk Live for the culture, live from the ranch. Here with Duke and Jonathan on a Saturday afternoon. We're back to the little wing things, little RIP wings, rip wings, little Sicilian, little Indian flow. Just,
Can't lose, man. Good wings and pizza, man.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's the winning combination.
Winning combo.
Batman and Robin, the dynamic duo, the alpha and the omega. There you go. Pizza and wings, it's a staple. But I wanted to jump in as we get back into the sports talk flow. The World Series, the fall classical, the World Series. Last night we got Boston Red Sox versus the Los Angeles Dodgers in Chez Ravine last night. The game went 18 innings.
That's the one where you get sleepy. You want to stay up,
Yeah,
and
you
you fall
asleep.
asleep. You fall asleep,
Yeah.
and then you wake back up, and you're like, "Hold on, wait a second. Maybe this is the repeat."
Yeah,
That
you're
one.
thinking like the replay or the highlight, and it's still going on. Right. The interesting part, the Dodgers win. The Red Sox gamble with their bullpen, but the Dodgers win on a walk-off home run in the 18th inning. I kind of jinxed it. I was at the West End after the drinking my sorrows away after my Knights loss. But I was at the West End, and I brought up the 16-inning game between the Mets and Astros back in the day. That was on a Wednesday. I remember watching that game. That started in the afternoon. And this one went 18 innings. It was 7 hours. The game's over. The Dodgers win. It's compelling. It's baseball. But a lot of talk has been in the conversation I had there at the little watering hole I was with some other gentlemen. They were the baseball age. They're like 10, 12 years older than me in their 60s. And they were saying the whole thing with baseball is just you can't fit it in. Like the time frame, 4 hours, 5 hours, you don't know what's going to go. How does that work in this new microwave society, this age where you have everything blocked out, to sit down and watch a baseball game,
right?
Or sit down and watch a playoff baseball game, and they're starting later, and that's really affecting the overall, fan appeal of baseball. A great game to play, and you have your your sons and your daughters playing baseball, little league baseball. But the overall marketability, because everything is based on television now.
Yes.
It's based on streaming. It's based you can watch the World Series on YouTube, stream on Fox. So it's all about your ability to market yourself, to fit your product into time zones and time slots. And now we're into the World Series. And truthfully, and when you talk about sports, and we do a lot of sports talk here, we've been trying to drum up and bring some people in to talk about baseball. It really hasn't had that push.
Right.
I mean, the NFL is year-round now, the NBA is year-round now,
Yeah.
the draft and everything like that. So do you think, we're dealing with baseball and everything that comes with it, is it just a sport that just has some issues with the time, and that's why it's not, super popular as it used to be?
Well, I think when you say it's America's pastime, like I think that you embracing that it's a sport in the past. So whatever the rules are, they're past rules, and that's how it was, and you will probably continue to want to stick with those. Now, as much, I love if you can do something better than me as far as athleticism, I will embrace it and I will pay attention to it, right? But the one thing I will not do is it's not an enjoyment for me to sit through an entire baseball game from one inning to the ninth inning. And as great as a no-hitter is, I don't think that I want to sit through it. I will appreciate it, but I would rather see some action, see shortstops making catches,
Jumping,
throwing the ball,
sliding.
jumping and deep,
Double plays.
But I understand, how big it is, but it's not something that
Center
I
field,
want to sit
grabbing
there,
grabbing the home run, snap
I'll fall asleep,
Right.
when something so I think, but because that's how it is, and the rules probably have never changed because they changing.
Well,
rules
trying to
up
get
in
to
a lot
go
of,
the faster, get a quicker pace. I mean,
Right.
baseball was always something in the summertime. It was on, like I said, Harry Kalas was the voice in the background. Me growing up as a youngster, people watching on TV or listening to it on the transistor radio. You have the baseball game on while you're painting the living room.
right.
You have the baseball game on while you're working on.
You almost can do anything while the baseball
game's
game's on.
Yeah. So I mean, that's always how baseball has been.
And that feel, you see that feel, how it's just in slow motion, and
Yeah.
you're gonna know what's going on even though you're not watching.
It's nothing's going to change. The pitcher's going to hit the ball and he's going to throw it home, or he might try to pick somebody off.
Right. And I don't think that anybody wants to get away from that old traditional American, feel.
Like you're saying, baseball you don't need the actual visual. You can have it. Baseball thrived when the radio was the main source.
Right.
When the radio was the main source, everybody listened to everything on the radio. But being someone that played, kids baseball, games, it's definitely.
I got you a glove or two back in the day.
Yeah, you got me a glove. It's definitely more fun playing it,
But I remember you guys were more excited about the Rice jersey I got you.
Yeah,
than the baseball glove that I got you. Like I was like, wow, I just got you a baseball glove, but you really like the Jerry Rice jersey. But I got you a full glove. I mean, it was a legit glove.
Yeah,
it wasn't like I got you. Yeah, it wasn't like I got you like a one out of Walmart. Like I got you a legit leather Wilson.
We might have left the glove at the house.
You got the Wilson?
Might have left the glove at the house and took the jersey off. Might have to come back and get the glove later.
Yeah, it was legit.
But being someone that played, it's definitely more fun actually in the game than watching it.
Right.
But, baseball was always that third sport. And I think now that basketball and football is getting more hyped.
Well, they say basketball is taking over. Basketball is going to be the sport, moving forward.
Yeah, it was. It did fall. It was falling off,
Yeah,
and now I guess it's.
Yeah, and the reason why it's going to be the sport taking over is because they don't wear helmets.
Yeah.
You can, a bench player, when you see a bench player walking down the street.
Easy to follow for tertiary, secondary fans.
It's a starter on the Dallas Cowboys. That Sunni never can't see his face if he was to walk down the street. And this is a starter, that plays 70% of the snaps,
And dribbling cells and dunk cell.
Right. And you get to see the person's face.
Right.
You get to see the actual person's face all the time.
Right.
All the time. Whereas though, football you can't. Baseball is a helmet too. But
do you think with all the talk of CTE, all the talk about different things with football and the prominence of baseball, do you think baseball can come and make a push back as more people play baseball, more little league teams and follow the sport? I mean, it's something you like to do, but do you really push for it? Like, we're talking about that world. Like, we don't come in and Duke can be like that World Series matchup. Like, you know, that's on your tongue. Like, oh, did you see? Maybe a no hitter or something that gets thrown, but nobody's like, did you see such and such? I mean, when they had the balls and the guys were on the juice and they're hitting the home runs to try to get everybody back, Sammy and everybody, but. Now it's kind of like, okay, it's baseball.
Right.
It's just that sport.
And that was the problem. Like, that's what we wanted to see. And that's why I didn't like. Y'all did it, and y'all made it happen for all the viewers. Then once y'all got the viewers, y'all wanted to come down on these people.
Right.
And now y'all lost those people. Y'all lost the people that was watching. There was the Sammy, the Jose, Mark McGuire, the Bonds,
Right.
You lost.
Bonds said he never took. That's what Bond said.
Well, he was still hitting on Griffey.
Is that what he said?
Griffey said
Okay.
Is
that what he said?
It never came out about Griffey either, but he was just part of the era.
Yeah, if you grew up in that era, you kind of suspect. But it's right or wrong, but it just is.
Once now you come down hard on them. After they made baseball relevant again.
Right.
And it's like that's the thing with baseball. They always with the third party. And then it's like now that basketball and football is expanding their draft.
Well, baseball was big then. I remember the baseball game of the week. I used to watch it with my grandmother. I mean, I used to tune in.
But you would rather watch the training camp of a football team that you don't even like. You hate the Eagles, but you would watch the training camp of the Eagles.
I think
before you would
and it's
watch,
because it's
but you would watch the training camp before you would watch a World Series.
Right. It's just slow,
I'm still a baseball guy. I can watch the World Series.
I like baseball too.
There's some great World Series.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, some great baseball games.
But how
some great baseball games.
Just do how they do the Scarface movie and watch the last game of the World Series. You know, they didn't watch the.
I've been guilty of that.
The
I've been
lead
guilty.
up. You watched
I've
the
been
last game. You know, like Scarface, you just skip to the end of the movie.
I've been guilty. I've been
You know?
guilty of that.
I mean, yeah, you tune in. You know the game's on.
Yeah.
What's going? Like if someone jumped up 6-0 on the second inning, you kind of like, okay,
Right.
I'll check back in, and it's
Right,
5 or
right,
7
right,
to see if they had made a dinner. Oh, it's 7-1. Oh, that's a wrap. You know, you may miss out on a miraculous ninth inning, but usually that doesn't happen.
Right.
But yeah, but that's been real interesting as you know we talk about sports talk for the culture, when we get into different topics on how we were trying to push this baseball narrative. Like I got some guys who want to come down and talk baseball. They get down, they're kind of busy. I got a guy that really wants to come down, and I have him, Miguel Santa, shout out to you, and come down and rap about baseball and the World Series and the direction of the game and where it's going, moving forward. And it's just an interesting piece because it really hasn't been like on the mind of like the American sports narrative.
Right.
So much things down with the network channels, the NFL channels, free agency, the draft, all this stuff. Your major sports are 24/7, and there's no downtime or anything like that. You can't take your eye off it. Like most people were talking about what they're going to do with the NFL, where they're going to draft, where it's going to come from. So you get into all that, and you look at it and say, okay, all right, what about the baseball talk? All right, what about the World Series? What about? And you got the Dodgers versus the Red Sox. And the Red Sox have a murderous road lineup. They just hit, and you're trying to some stories about Price, who's a great regular season pitcher who finally had some postseason success. He didn't want to. So there's a lot of intriguing stories.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. We can't. It's not. It's here. It's not
truthfully, they're fighting. Like there's no way they're in second or first.
Right.
But they're fighting with hockey and soccer.
Yeah.
You know, like I hear more soccer talk far as people, and I see soccer jerseys, people walking around.
Got
more
the Union.
I see more soccer talk than baseball
Philly's got to
talk.
get back in winning. Philly's got to get back to winning.
Yeah,
let's be real, right?
They're fighting for third. They may lose third.
Right.
You know?
Well, let's be real. Like the sport itself is slow.
Right.
You know? So that has a lot to do with like kids will watch it. They will enjoy it because somebody introduced it to them. But that's not one of the things that they gravitate to. You know what I mean? Like people gravitate towards like basketball and football because you move. Soccer because you're moving.
Right.
Like baseball is huh? Golf too.
Right.
But we appreciate it because I can't hit balls in a hole.
It's really
you're not gonna jump.
Yeah.
After you just sitting here for 15 minutes, and
Listen,
you gotta jump and touch this ceiling and grab the ball.
I can't
dive on your nose.
Any one of us, right? This is how much respect that I got for the game. Now, I had a friend of mine, shout out to Bo Donaldson. He played professional baseball. Now, I'm up there, man, I can hit this ball. Y'all guys, but whatever. Listen, I got on the mound. He threw a pitch. I swung after the ball hit the glove.
You heard it hit the glove.
Pow, swing. So you're not going. So that's what I'm talking about. Being appreciative of
I know how
service
to
sports.
hit the ball,
It's not, but it's just the action is going from the pitcher to the batter to the catcher.
Right.
And it's the only game when you're on offense, you don't hold the ball. You don't control the ball.
Yeah.
Now I did make up my mind and say when my son, when he gets older, baseball is going to be playing catch is going to be when we talk about life issues.
Yeah,
like
because back to
but baseball
back to is slow. We can get that in.
Baseball develops a lot of motor skills that are very handy in what you do. I think the way Deshaun Jackson playing Little League baseball with Richard Sherman, him being able to track a deep bomb from him tracking center field, tracking balls. And also, to get illustrated, like when you have a glove on and someone throws you a ball above your waist, you're going to turn your hands like this to catch it with a glove on. And that's what you should do when you catch a football.
Right.
Like if somebody throws you a ball above your waist, you catch it like this. Now, if someone throws the ball low and you have a glove on, you're going to make your glove go low. And that's what you should do when somebody throws you a ball low in football. You should bring your thumbs out to catch it. And those are just natural motor skills you develop by putting the glove on and playing and translate to other sports. Because you see a lot of guys, trying to chest catch like this.
Right.
or you wouldn't try to put your hands like this and catch a football below your waist.
Right.
Below your waist, you wouldn't do that. But you develop that stuff by playing baseball,
Right.
like catching and throwing and things along those lines. Your baseball skills.
Baseball is beautiful. It's a beautiful game.
Beautiful sport.
It's a slow game.
It's a shame it's not as appreciated as you really appreciate it. Like we all appreciate it, but we can't give it that full,
Right, right.
as it's appreciated.
Because the action is not there. We're
Right.
sold on the action.
Because I definitely said, that's going to be our thing. When I want to talk to him about something, we're going to go in the backyard, we're going to play catch.
Right.
We're going to talk about whatever going on, no matter what it is in his life. We're going to get it soft through a game of catch.
Yeah. Definitely.
Ball might come to him a little harder if he say something I don't like.
Yeah.
But we're going to do it with catch. You
Right,
know what I
right,
mean? Like
absolutely.
that's just something I made up, and I said that's how I'm going to do it.
Of course. We got some shout outs. We got Timmy Tuck. What's up, brother?
What's up,
West
Timmy
Virginia
Tuck?
State alum.
Tuning
What's
in.
up, homeboy? And Walter, the American Dream Henson, man. What's going on, Walt?
What's up? I got,
Thanks for tuning in.
I got Don
Got any
King and
time
Hal
ins?
Sway, Cowboys Nation checking in.
Can't forget
Checking
Hakeem
in.
Chandler, man. What's up? How you doing? And
What's up,
Cliff.
Hakeem? What's up, Cliff?
Clifton Holmes, West Virginia State
King,
alum,
you
man.
live to Rob Chandler.
Thanks for tuning in.
Rob's normally down
Thanks,
here,
guys.
engineer.
Yeah, engineer. He's on hiatus. He'll be back.
He didn't get to sleep till about 4 last night. I had him out with me.
Oh wow, no wonder.
He didn't even answer the phone this morning when I called
I'm
him.
a hide
Wow.
from you.
Yeah.
Damn, I got the boards. Don't worry about it, Rob. Just get your rest, young fella. You got somebody. You got a little thing coming on the way, so you're gonna need that rest. Definitely. Hey, let's jump into Mike Leach. Talk about the Alabama Invitational. I don't know if Alabama got a quarterback. So they putting up 50, giving up 14. So he had an interesting comment. Mike Leach has always been out there. He's offensive mind, can coach offense everywhere he's going. And I want to get your guys' take on this. He said that the NCAA championship should be football playoff should be expanded to 16 games. Now, and he said it in this Mike Leach type of way, like any rec league, softball, whatever can put together a 16-team tournament, and you mean the NCAA can't? Like whatever, he said it in his usual Mike Leach type of way. What do you guys think? 16? Let's not go to 8. Let's just go right to 16 and call that football championship. What do you guys? It would end all the talk. You get your top 16.
I agree. And then it would. I think it would take away for the people that's not in it. Then like far as basketball, college basketball, it's always, we got snubbed, we got this, and that's way more than 16, but it's always that, but see, if they do the 16, then it's more structured like the NFL, then it's like, okay, blase, like the NBA, like other places.
But this is pure amateurism.
Yeah.
But nah, it's about the money. There's the dollars. I thought it was going to be 16 myself.
But when they made it 8,
when they had it 4, I thought at least it'd be eventually get to 16. I was surprised it was only 4.
So
they starting off with like a final 4.
Right.
So here's the thing with me, right? All right, so because this is your BCS teams, correct?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what does that do for teams like who was it? Was it Central Florida?
Central Florida, but they have Central.
But they won 11-0, right?
UCF, and they got their own. They got themselves some rings too.
Right, but they won 11-0, and
Ranked
they
10
weren't
now, I
allowed to
suppose.
play.
Right.
That so where are we? Where are we at
Do
that?
they get into that? Do they
Right.
get into the
So that's my
16?
thing.
Yeah, they should get in. But see the problem where they lost, where they had to include these other conferences because they were monopolizing the money and the dollars with your power conferences.
Right.
Your power conferences were monopolizing all the money, all the dollars. So there's no need to pay you. You can never play you. You can never build your program up. Like, hey, we beat Michigan this year. You don't have to go to travel. You can come right down here to Idaho State. You don't have to go over. Like, we get kids from Florida up here now. Look, we got legitimate power now. Right. If I can just dismiss you, I don't have to play you or whatever. We can move on.
It was a few years,
With Boise State?
Utah, Boise State.
Like a lot of them.
A lot of them was going undefeated but
Right.
never getting a shot,
And that's what I'm saying.
So
Is this going to?
So now you throw us in there and you give us
Right.
a chance.
Yeah.
So are they going to include them? Are they a part of the 16 team? Like,
Well, you didn't get specific, but I would assume they would be. I think you would take it. You have a committee, just like you would have it for the NCAA, and take in consideration everything that boils down. You grab 16 teams, you definitely are going to have some of your non-power conference would definitely need to be in there.
Right. So you line that up from, okay, just like the NCAA tournament, right? One plays 16. Is that how we going about this? So you get 3 games out of that? Mm-hmm. Is that how that works? Or 4 games?
You go 1 through 16, and then you go 1 through 8, 1 through 4.
And 1 and 8, then 4 and 2. So you get 3 games or 4?
If you win 3.
If you win 3, you got to win.
So you win 3.
16.
So when is that happening? Are we going into February now?
Yeah. The championship game the Saturday.
Because January we already play.
Yeah.
So that's the first game.
So I wouldn't take.
And this
that
is
long,
1 week.
I wouldn't take that long week off for the bowls.
But they have to almost because Christmas and all that stuff, right? So when do you get that first game?
That first game is going to,
because you got to get some of those bowl games out the way.
I think the first game is going to be December 1st. I think it's going to be after you play your Thanksgiving rivalry game or whatever you do.
And then start it.
You start it then. And then that's when you go.
So the games are every week, or do you for the big one you take 2 weeks off?
You take some time off. You go every week, and then you take some time off, and then it would best be played the Saturday bye week for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that
you don't want to
January.
Yeah, you don't want to. Well, I don't know about that either because I think they have to take into consideration that you're gonna have travelers that are going wherever this BCS game is going. They're not going to both. You're not going to do the Super Bowl and this big BCS.
Well, the Alabama people are gonna be there. Like Alabama
and the Super Bowl and the BCS game.
Well, the Alabama don't really have a Super Bowl team, so like the state of Alabama really don't. The pro sport Alabama is their pro team. So
I'm saying as far as like people, like it's people that's going to travel to both.
Yeah,
they're not going to be able to go to both if they have that weekend before, that Saturday and the Super Bowl Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Well, that Saturday, the week before the Super Bowl, like that.
Okay.
The bye week, like when there's nothing going on but the Pro Bowl.
Right.
That Saturday, you play the
okay.
The
so you gotta find that. You gotta find that.
Or you play that Monday
downtime.
or Tuesday, whatever you want to do. When there's nothing going on, you're gonna play that Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, you gotta find that downtime.
That downtime. We'll play the championship game, and you go
the Pro Bowl is not as attractive.
Nah. That's all vacation and deals going on with the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, most people don't want to play in it, so they have an injury. So that's how Jason Witten kept getting Pro Bowls at tight end. Like, he got another Pro Bowl at tight end. I was like, dude, he's like averaging 3 yards a catch, but that's all right. But he's a Pro Bowl because other guys like, I really don't want to go. Like, I'm just, I'm hurt.
Right.
So put somebody in. But I think that's where it's going to go because I think of that's why the conferences have championship games now. The extra game is revenue. That's a big revenue game. It started with the SEC. About 25 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah, they split it up.
Yeah, we're going to have
just for that.
Yeah, we split it up, and we're going to have a championship game. And it may hurt you trying to get into a big-time bowl because you have one extra tough game to play. But at the same time, it's so much revenue generated from that SEC championship game, that ACC championship game, that Big 12 championship game. So I think, but then you get into, all right, how many games these kids going to play now?
Right.
And then you get into that.
And you're getting into that, and then you still don't want to pay them. Now you into what, 14, 15 games?
And you don't want to pay anybody?
And you still don't want to pay. So they got some stuff to do. Listen, all the stuff can happen. You know what I mean? It can happen because the money's there for it to happen. But, who's going to... The NCAA has been operating like they've been operating for a long time.
$1 billion.
And you know how people are. If you've been used to getting steak on Friday nights for 25 years and somebody come in.
Everybody talk about these thieves. Everybody talk about, manual labor and farm shops and sweatshops overseas and this is a sweatshop right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they producing billions every year and paying the workers zero.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't get at least the people overseas get a hamburger. At least they get a place to live. It might be in the factory.
And you can't work.
Yeah. It might be in the factory.
The NCAA won't allow you to have a job.
Yeah. It might be in the factory that they working in, but at least they get somewhere to sleep.
Not that you could get a job because all your hours go to your sport.
Yeah, that's it. And it's all about big money. And now
paying us nothing.
Well, that's why the big changes in basketball. That's why the big changes.
Sweatshop.
The BBB, the Big Baller League. That's why they changed the G League, what they're doing now with $125,000 contracts for the kids that don't want to go. to college
It's going
because
to
they
change the
know.
game. That's going to change the game.
Because they see the handwriting on the wall.
Yeah.
Like,
And Mark Cuban said, listen, all these one and dones, pretty much everybody that went to Duke this year, let them come and play in a league. Let them come and play in our D League. We already know all these Duke kids that came out this year that's at Duke is one and dones. Four or five of these players is the number 3, number 1, 2, 3.
Right.
And then the other one is like number 7. We all know these players are one and done.
Yeah.
Right.
Why not let them just come play in the D League?
Right.
You know, so then they can play with grown men. They can feel like grown men going to bump them, going to hit them, you know, and get a little county ball in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why not let them come play here, get them a check, because they're not going to go to school. They ain't going to school.
Well, I think one of the big things is we talk about, and we can look at college football and college basketball. They're your farm systems.
Yeah, and
realistically, so my thing is just pay them.
System. Yeah,
because you can't. Let's look at Alabama. Let's look at Georgia's. Let's look at Clemson's. Let's look at Penn State's.
Major League to pay you right out of high school.
Right.
Yeah.
Major League to draft you out of high school.
Yeah. You can go to the major leagues, or you can go to college. But if you go to college, you got to go for 3 years.
Right.
That's
but
what they say. You got to go.
You can go to major league, but you play down. You play the down level.
A-ball, double A.
Yeah. You'll go down. You'll play. You'll get a check.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is
not much, but you
get something.
But you get acclimated to being on the road, being away from home.
You'll get what you would be able to get a job. If you got a job fresh out of high school, you gonna get paid more to do what you like.
Yeah.
Well,
you want to make more than 30,000 to go play baseball in Double A, Triple A.
Yeah.
Fresh out of high school, you only making 22,000.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing for me is, like, I get that, right, and it makes sense. But let's look at if our son was 18 years old. Say he was in high school,
right,
and it was time for him to go to college. I want my son to go to college, right? But because I want him to get that experience, being away from home,
connections.
And taking
number one
care,
thing is connections.
Connection, and taking care of himself, being independent, right? So my thing is pay the college kids. Then you won't have to start up a league, because the thing about it is,
employees.
These are the major colleges, like the Alabamas, the Kentuckys in basketball, the Clemsons, the Georgias. You're not getting any better than that. Talking about farm system, you're playing against the best players,
right?
So the system is already there. The NCAA just needs to pay the players,
and they don't
because
come up
the
with
experience is what the kids need.
Yeah,
you know, when you go away from home,
and
that's what I'm saying. So you forcing these kids, you forcing them to leave that college atmosphere when they do need it. Let's think about it. Like when you in college, like you on your own on campus, you got to figure some stuff out. Once you step off of that campus,
it's a very interesting dichotomy.
Shout out to my homie Rob Hodge, Bambino.
Rob Hodge, thanks for tuning in.
Rob?
Sports Talk
Bambino,
Live for the culture,
you just missed the Cowboys talk a little earlier. You know, he big Cowboys fan. You know,
Bambino, huh?
Yeah, Bambino. That's his name around the way. Bambino.
Come down to the ranch.
Come down one time. That's who posted the end that day. The other night, he said, you know, he's scared of the end. Remember the drink?
Oh yeah, I got some other stuff down here for you.
Yeah, we got something for you, man.
We're changing palettes down here.
Yeah,
It's about that craft life,
listen,
man.
they are. You better bring a blanket and a pillow. That's what you better bring.
That's what we do. But we said, and the interesting thing about, you know, going to college, going to school, and when you have to go there, better yourself, make connections with the university, things along those lines, learn different things, interact with different people. And one of the analogies I always use is, and it gets real interesting when you talk about $1 billion industry. When you come in to be a part of $1 billion industry and you're not getting any kickback from it, is those, like, you know, the analogy of, you know, hey, my son got a music scholarship. He wanted to play in a band. He's a trumpet. And he plays in the campus jazz quartet. Now, all of a sudden, the jazz quartet, they're selling $175 seats to him and his quartet play at the local arena, at the local college campus stadium, or, you know, music hall that they have.
Right.
And then they say, okay, we're not giving you any money for that because you're in college or whatever, you're on a musical scholarship. Then we're going to start printing CDs. Start printing those CDs and selling them of the jazz quartet that your son is the lead trumpeter on. Like, he's like a new Miles Davis type cat.
Without him, we wouldn't sell any CDs.
Right.
Everybody's coming to see him, you know, like that. You know, we're doing everything. We're doing TV specials, you know, live concerts and all that like that. At one point, do you say, hey, maybe my son should leave here and just sign a record deal?
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point. That's the analogy for the scholarship works for me or a guy that's not come out of college without a debt. Yeah, but for that special skilled person who's a part of this billion-dollar industry, it's going to be a multi-millionaire talent or has that up there. It's really not a recourse, and that's why I'm pro the amateur leagues. I'm pro,
right.
Where you can sell yourself to Nike, you can sell your own, be yourself. Like Rap Curry, we have a movement called, what they're doing, entrepreneurship at this school called Be the Brand. Be the brand. Like you could be your own brand, sell yourself, and it's only right and fair. And I think it's going to go that way. That's just the natural push. It's going to happen because of the savvy of the kids or whatever. And things change. Like we say, like nobody thought like baseball would be on the fourth rung. Just like some people think, well, how would you not want to go to North Carolina or play for Duke or play for them or Coach K or whatever? Coach K is not going to be coaching there forever.
No.
And or this coach. So I think it's in the start of that transitional period where the money and all the assets that come with playing for the NCAA and their billion-dollar industry, kids are going to want a part of it, and student athletes are going to want a part of it. And have some
it's enough
options.
money to go around, man.
And even the conferences with their network. It's not even about NCAA anymore. It's about the SEC network, and the football and basketball revenue is kind of what pushes and supports the other non-revenue driving sports.
Right.
So I think when you take a look at that and say, hey, I mean I think that's what the revolutionary part is coming on. I mean, wearing a North Carolina Tar Heel blue is the biggest thing a basketball player could want to do at our age coming up. You can imagine being wearing a Tar Heel blue or wearing a Duke or going to Alabama or Miami. The only thing about football is you just can't come out. Your body's not ready to play football at 18 or 17.
Right.
So you got to go somewhere and grow and get it like 4 or 5 years.
Absolutely.
But baseball has already done it. And basketball, well, shoot, they're playing pros overseas at 17, 18, already in pro leagues and come here with no problem.
Because it's finesse, But side note, it feels like Coach K is going to be coaching forever, Like Coach K it seems like he has the longest journey since John Paul.
You think about, but Coach K,
he's been working.
This is before you I don't know if you ever stopped and watched the Jimmy Valvano story, 1983, the Wolfpack.
Yeah.
Coach V, he died of cancer. The cancer of cocaine, coach's cancer. Jimmy Valvano. Yeah. He won the title in '83. Upset
against the Phi Slamma Jamma.
One of my favorite
Hakeem
all-time.
Olajuwon,
Drexler.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Larry Mishaw, Mr. Mean. Benny Anders. I mean, the team was unbelievable. They were dunking like crazy.
Nobody picked them to win.
I mean, the real championship game was supposed to be against Louisville in the semifinals.
Right.
Phi Slamma Jamma versus the Sultans of Slam. So that was supposed to. This other thing happened on Monday, but they won in 1983. And the funny part about it was, when he won it in 1983, all the pressure was on Coach K. They were like, Jimmy Vanno done won at North Carolina State, and you're here at Duke, and he didn't really take off that well at Duke or whatever. And there was some talk he might have got fired or let go, but he didn't, and the rest is history. But yeah, so it's just an interesting thing with coaches and time and developing, but also. It's so much money in these leagues and these television deals moving forward. It's going to be very difficult moving forward, I think, to have kids, this next generation of kids, to say, "Hey, come here and play for nothing."
Yeah, I mean, what's the one guy that LeBron has now? He what college team?
Which one?
He was with Syracuse. And he already signed for $1 million.
Oh wow!
He used to be. He was with Coach Boeheim.
Okay.
So it was like, he already signed for $1 million.
And Boeheim and them are all 4 kids not getting paid. I mean, it's kind of interesting because would you be coping if it's amateurism? Cap the coach's salary. Everybody's on the same level field. You only can get $300,000 to coach college, whatever. But nobody would be doing it. Nah. But they're getting like $6-8 million a year
because you know how much money is in. It's simple for them. It's like, okay, it's simple when you think about it in terms of I'm the coach and I know how much money is coming in. Yeah. And this is how much money I made the university. Now, if I made the university $30 million. Give me a fifth of that, which is $6 million. But nobody discusses the players. They don't. That's the reason why you got the money.
Yeah, I mean that's
part of the reason why Brandon Jennings went overseas.
Yeah. So listen, they got to break these guys off, man. That's just it. And it's not about because let's think about in college, right? you don't have any bills, period. You got a scholarship, but you can't buy pizza, you can't go to the movies, you can't. Now, does that mean that they're supposed to give you $100,000 a year? No. But I gotta be compensated fairly enough.
You shouldn't be thinking about robbing to get some small necessities.
Or you're not supposed to be hungry. You're not supposed to be hungry.
If you get a pair of Jordans, you shouldn't be thinking about trading them.
To sell them, yeah.
Well,
and you're not supposed to.
Wait a minute now. Them North Carolina Jones were going for like $3K on the open. I don't care. I don't care how much you. If somebody just gave me three pairs or something that's selling for $3K, they're gonna hit the secondary and tertiary markets, man.
Yeah,
they go because I only can wear one pair at a time. Like sneakers is sneakers. Like they limited edition North Carolina Jordans.
Yeah, and we connected with Mike, so I know I can get another pair.
Yeah, like what the heck?
You know, so it's one of those you're supposed to give these kids
but they shouldn't
money.
have to do these things.
Right.
They shouldn't think about stealing car radios like they was doing in your squad. Miami.
I'm not supposed to call mom.
They was going to steal them regardless.
You know what I mean?
You got bad. Some guys are bad seeds.
Winston got caught stealing crab legs or something like
they usually gave them crab legs when they got caught. You know what I mean? He was going there grabbing.
You got some special.
Big man on campus get crab legs. Just to keep it real, 100.
Some guys got special cases.
You wink at the joint behind there like, oh, that's Winston. He got his crab leg. You know how they go. He got caught.
None of these things should be happening. You know, you putting these kids against the wall. Like I'm already a big man in campus.
Seeing my jersey sold.
Yeah, but the kid that's not even in college that's selling weed on college got more money than me.
Oh, well,
you know what I mean? Like,
and he about to go. You know, that's a whole different.
He's not even playing those.
That's
sports.
a whole different. That's a whole not NSR sports talk with a culture.
Yeah. That's the underground ranch. We in the underground ranch with the Timbs and fatigues on, huh?
Look, I really don't want to take these pills that everybody's getting addicted to, these opioids. I'd rather add me some weed and do the dispensary instead of myself. Like crazy. Like, good. And they still try to penalize the players for it, but they don't want to take. Get addicted.
I gotta go buy the big $10 bottle of Fred Flintstone bottle of vodka. He got Grey Goose and Belvedere. He got Patron. Like you know, but my bottle plastic.
If you're you type of player, money is coming to you, but it's coming to you secondary. It's an envelope here, a handshake there, a summer job you don't report to there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Those are the things that go on in big time.
Hey man, get these kids $3,000 or $4,000 each semester, and have a check waiting for them once they, leave the university.
And I think they should be able to come back to the university and get finished their degree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scholarship should be in perpetual. Like,
absolutely. If I go to a bowl game freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, and I didn't get anything, it would be great to know that once I leave, that if I graduate or just once I
decide to come back
or whatever, or just leave, period. Just say I leave as I'm a junior and I go to the pros. It's supposed to be a nice, or just let's not even discuss the guys that are going to the pros. Let's discuss the guy who just competed. He's not going pro, but he was on those teams.
He was part of that.
He was part of those teams that went to those bowl games.
He was glue that didn't get seen.
Why can't a check be waiting for him for $30,000, $40,000 as soon as he leaves school and graduates?
And a job.
Dude, you just talked about something I always
that
talk
propels
about.
him for life.
You
got the money.
You brought up a topic that I always talk about when you talk about players getting some money and coaches and how they feel about it.
Right.
You're at the University of Toledo and it made a grade 8, a grade 16, and a grade 8 run. Now the University of Ohio State is looking for you to coach their basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
And on this team, Toledo, that got you to the Sweet 16 and the grade 8 in consecutive years, that bolstered you and have you in a position to go to Ohio State and sign a contract that's going to give you generational money, generational dollars that's going to affect your great-grandchildren.
Absolutely.
As a kid from a family that doesn't have much, first college, gives you 8 points a game, 5 rebounds, maybe about 12 boards. He's scrappy. And he's the glue. He was the put together.
Right. You're not going nowhere without him.
Not going nowhere. Now, he's just gotten you to the precipice of going to Ohio State. And there's a Toledo booster that sees him after a game, be like, hey, this is going on below.
Mm-hmm.
You got
hush.
Great game. You put this thing together. I'm being loyal. I've been watching Toledo basketball for 40 years. We ain't never got this far. You as a coach is going to be like, nah, you can't. You're going to look. You have a tendency to look the other way.
I'm not going in the locker room
because that guy that you gave a scholarship to, whatever, it just changed your whole generational outlook on
listen,
wealth.
When once the guy that you talk about that gives whatever, he's alumni, what's wrong with that? Like, I don't understand. Like, if you went to the University of Toledo or whatever, and I know that you are a multi-millionaire, and you say to yourself, you know what, you guys had a great game.
Dinner on me, and I'm gonna give each one of you $1,000 bucks. Yeah.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
A friend of mine went to a school and hockey was big and had like, you know, a lot of people that their hockey team was, they had football and basketball, but hockey was big. And he didn't play hockey. He played football, but the hockey guys would get the envelopes because it was a hockey school kind of, you know, like, and they would go out and when they would go out to dinner, here come the envelopes. You know, great game, guys. We going to the Frozen Four, whatever they think you're going to, and that's just a natural thing that comes out. You know,
right.
You're making the moves. I mean, that's just a natural inclination because everybody knows the value when you're trying to set up a system that's based so heavily on money and monetary benefit, and the actual people that are causing while we're tuning in aren't getting anything. Those things are going to happen.
Right.
And people just naturally see like, oh, this is kind of right or wrong. Like, this kid is balled out. Like, he got Toledo on the map. I can wear my Toledo jersey at the job now. They ain't looking at me like I'm crazy. And other guys, like, I'm going to Ohio State to coach now. Like, you know, I'm making $5 million and I'm going to get an Adidas deal. So, I mean, that's the whole thing. And I think if they do this thing, like getting back to like the Sweet 16 and college football, it'll be really hard pressed for them not to move. I think it's going to change just going forward. I think
it's coming. I think they're just trying to get it together, just like they're doing with the marijuana. They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, definitely. They're trying to look and see exactly what's the best solution, you know, moving forward. Because you gotta have.
Once you started, you can't take it back.
No.
So they gotta figure. They gotta figure out how.
Once you started, you can't go back. Once you know, it's once the door is open, you gotta make moves. And I think that's going to be the key. I think that's going to be the future. I think these parents are savvy now. The whole 9 yards. That, you know, look, this is a business decision. The AAU money. Going around the country, all that to put us in a position to maximize between 18 and 30 when you're a great athlete. 18 and 30, you got them 12 years
like you said,
to make the moves.
You said it, you know, parents are not the same parents.
Yeah, we're not hood, you know, from the hood.
Parents know what's going on.
They're very savvy.
Parents know what's going on. Parents are making money now.
You
know what I mean? So, you know, parents are.
I heard a story of a guy, you want my kid to play on your AAU team? Boy, my car lot, I needed like 8 cars bought. My dealership. You know what I mean? Like, you get both my kids.
You help my business, right? Let's keep it business.
Yeah, let's keep it 100. But yo, fellas, another good session in here today.
Always.
We had a lot of topics. Definitely. Sports talk live for the culture. Look for us when we're doing some more Friday night stuff. They invited me back out. I'll probably hit up this Friday. Penwood's first ever home playoff game in football.
First ever?
First ever.
Oh, they coming out the woodwork.
They went undefeated in 90.
They're 10-0 team, but they didn't get enough points.
Team in the 90s,
but not enough points because the teams they played, the point system. So yeah,
they got snubbed for the playoffs.
Well, listen.
Now the PIAA trying to get everybody in the playoffs.
Everybody's gonna be at the game.
The gate. Yeah.
Uncle Woodrow, Uncle Bobby,
Tata. They said it's for them.
Yeah.
The playoff game is for them.
Oh yeah, all
Ducky
day.
Riles, who if you saw the picture with Ducky Riles, we were big rivals back in the day. He went to Millersville University. Should be in the Sports Hall of Fame, Millersville University, Ducky Riles.
They're doing a campaign for him now.
Yeah, we're doing it. Campaign, Ducky Riles, HOF, Millersville University football, Marauder, great player. He played at Penwood back in the day. It was great seeing him and just the memories and the rivalries and stuff. You know, me trying to tackle him on a punt. You know, like the punt return cat. D-back. And tremendous. So like we definitely gonna be out there. But I am Night Nation now. Like let's don't get it straight. I still rep Academy Park, Night Nation. We've had a nice run. Penwood's getting a little run, but we just gotta get a game together, get back and come at them. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I like. That motivates you. That's the best thing about sports. You know, you didn't like them celebrating on your field near the Night Nation sign.
What you gonna do?
Hit the weight room.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. But fellas, thanks again. And we'll be back.
Always a pleasure.
Look for the website and look for the Facebook page. We're going to start putting some stuff up there. I'm going to edit these things down and post them. So if you missed it, you can check it here. But also check out Sports Talk Live on the Facebook page. And we'll have the website coming soon. And we'll be on the road, too. We're going to try to do some road stuff.
Yeah,
definitely,
we mobile.
We mobile.
We're going to be closer to you.
Stay tuned. You know, we'll bring some light to your event, your organization. Be the brand campaign. Remember that. And we'll be out. Talk to you. Peace.
Later.